Hello and welcome to PetVivo's new YouTube channel, where we will be sharing frequent updates about the company. Here with me is John Lai, the CEO, President, and Director. How are you doing today, John?
I am good. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it. I'm having a wonderful day.
Good.
So, for those who are new listeners here, or for those not yet familiar with the company at all, can you tell us in your own words what it is that PetVivo does?
Well, we created a protein particle matrix, which we convert into a thermoplastic-like substance that mimics cartilage and tissue. That's the simplest form, but we have two applications, but the initial launch for it is in the pet industry for the treatment of osteoarthritis.
Okay. And what made you get into this in the first place?
Well, I joined the company probably about 5 years ago, but prior to that, the company was funded by the Department of Defense and the National Institute of Health for regenerative medicine. You know, battlefield injuries, severed arteries, we're able to reconnect arteries. So this particle made a lot of sense to me. And one of the reasons I wanted to join was to take them into the animal health space to create a product that would treat osteoarthritis and increase mobility and quality of life for dogs and horses.
Yeah. I imagine horses especially would definitely benefit from something like that because they have lived very shock-intensive lives, especially racing ones.
Yeah, and on the dog side, there's a lot of genetic disposition towards hip dysplasia and joint issues among bulldogs, labs, German shepherds, and we saw a big population base of dogs that we can help.
Yeah, that's good. I know. That is one of the main things you look out for as your dog ages. Those back hips, they'll start to go, and you'll see them start to sit down more. But that's really cool that you guys have developed something to help one of the major things that can happen with animals.
Yeah, and we're quite unique in this sense. Is other companies have products, but they're all more very short term, and they're masking the symptoms of the problem because osteoarthritis is basically bone-on-bone contact with a wearing away of cartilage that exists. So our product, once it's injected into the articulating joint area, synovial joint area, it augments the current tissue that's there, or when there's no tissue, it basically provides like a scaffolding effect. And then it, in essence, becomes like a sponge that absorbs all shock. And then because it's in the synovial fluid area, it lubricates. So it also lubricates the joint. Every time there's an impact, and then the release of the impact, it moves the fluid around, which creates lubrication for the joint and keeps it from having inflammation and continued pain. You'll notice a pretty fast improvement in the joint, or you'll see the mobility increase in the dog literally within 48 hours of the injection.
Wow, that's so it's kind of like the total package. It kind of helps do everything. How long does that last? Is it something you have to get mildly frequently?
No, that's one of the major breakthroughs we feel we have that's so disruptive to the industry and requires us to educate the vet as well as the consumer. There are many very good products out there, but needs to be acquired a whole series of injections. Like one of the few competitive products that's done very well out there requires 7 injections over a 9-month period. And then it doesn't last that much longer after that period, but each time you use it, it loses its efficacy. Ours, we claim, lasts at least a year, but what we have found is dogs and horses, after the injection, have lasted well over a year or 2 years. And we even have one that's gone 4 years on a single injection. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is really industry changing and disrupting. So then how did you wind up in this position as the CEO, President, and Director in the first place? What's your history?
I've been involved in startups for a lot of years, where I decided to fund some companies and have a team of friends that decided to invest with me in the companies. And we've been fortunate. We had some very good winners early on. And then, as reality sets in, you hit 4 in a row and then you lose 4 in a row, but you're still way ahead of the game because the returns are so much, the typical model, but usually it's 1 out of 10. We've done a little better than that. And this company was really interesting from the standpoint is that it had so many patents behind it and one of the deepest product pipelines for a company of this size. We have like 16 products in the pipeline addressing a market every year in excess of $1 billion per product.
Wow.
That felt we have a better safety profile as well as better efficacy going forward. Obviously, we don't have the resources to launch every one of these products, so I wanted to focus the one where we were good from a regulatory standpoint that we can sell into the market. We basically has de-risked the regulatory aspect because of the human trials we did before joining the company. We got the designation from the FDA as a medical device. So we're unique in the sense where if you think about creating particles that mimics cartilage, you would think that's biotech. So we're a biotech company that actually was able to convert into a device company. That means you don't have to do phase 3 in human clinicals to get the product to market. And because of that designation, the animal side accepts the human work, and then all of a sudden we're cleared to sell, which is we feel is a very big advantage over the competitors.
Yeah, it seems like because of the past of it, you're in a unique position that just gives you, as you said, a large advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right now it's just a matter of focusing on marketing, and the coronavirus has really disrupted us from the standpoint as we just finished the Western Veterinary Conference out in Las Vegas about 3.5 weeks ago, and we had a really good response from the vets. And in fact, I had a really weird question from one of the vets that walked up to us. She goes, "Can I inject goats with this?" And I said, "Well, that's a new one for me, but I'm sure we could." And she happens to be a vet with one of the zoos that have a couple of goats that have lameness issues, and she's going to inject the goats. So, which is really cool because we set up a nonprofit organization called PetVivo Cares, where we're going to donate, to service dogs and animal rescues and humane societies to help these animals get adopted and so on by eliminating the lameness issue.
Yeah, goats deserve good knees too.
Yes, really yes, do. And I wonder what other animals she's going to be injecting.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, so from there, how do you feel about this new idea of us doing these weekly video updates to keep people informed?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. But the only thing is, right now with the coronavirus, everybody's on freeze. So I don't know how much, progress anybody can make in a given week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks until this thing settles down.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole world, right? The whole world is kind of in this unsure phase. Markets are kind of going buck wild right now. Everyone's stuck in their homes. But it doesn't mean it's not a good time to kind of get information out to people, because a lot of people are just going to be sitting at home anyways, right?
No, correct. You're absolutely correct. It's more just getting the success stories, because we still have success stories coming back, to give an overview of what's happening within the vet space or the pet space at pet therapy. Many vets now have closed down their clinics. They're only handling emergency situations, which is part of what we all should be doing, because we want as least amount of interaction as possible to help flatten out the curve of the coronavirus. And but it is refreshing to get great success stories, about someone's dog getting injected and they could fly now across the country. Before it couldn't, and that brings up a very interesting case. We had a service dog, a German Shepherd, that every time the dog got on a flight, it was like barely moving. And we injected the dog about a month ago. And 2 weeks after the injection, we got a call from the owner, and she goes, "Huey is running like a puppy." And I said, "Cool." But she goes, "The real test is I'm taking her on a flight from Tampa to San Francisco, and we'll see how that works." Got the call back after the flight and said, "It's amazing. There was no noticeability of the dog having any type of lameness and wasn't in pain. She could clearly tell that." So that made us feel really good. And over time, we'll start building up a video case of these success stories of dogs and horses and so on, and adding it to our website.
Yeah, that sounds great. Definitely would be nice to have one of these updates talk about maybe some specific success stories. Is there anything else we could perform in these updates coming up?
Well, it's we can always talk about the bigger picture too of what we're seeing changing in the business scene and the economy, because right now everything's on lockdown, and it doesn't look like anything's changing in the next 30 days. And so the success of a launch or the product, because we started shipping the product probably 3 months ago, so we were just starting to get good success stories coming back, and it's nothing you can do about it. I mean, the virus is the virus. It's a BioShock. Everybody was caught off guard.
Yeah, true. Everyone was kind of caught off guard, but I think we're all doing a pretty decent job now. The whole world's involved in trying to get this handled. You got everyone working on vaccines and all these companies, kind of doing their own part, which is great. So then, thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to offer people before we sign off today?
Check out our website, obviously, www.petvivo.com. That's PETVIVO.com for updates. And we're also publicly traded. So if you look at what management's been doing with the stock, will give you a good clue how we feel about the company.
Yep. Sounds good. And anyone watching, don't be afraid to leave a comment below saying your thoughts or to join the Telegram and just join the discussion. All right, John, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Michael. You too.